just found out about this. These are all the elevators. Somebody walks by down there. That is crazy. So here we are, day 2, out at sea, North Atlantic. Weather is, in a way, to be expected. It is not warm. 7 a.m. and I've been up for a couple hours just organizing stuff and getting rid of like packaging and trimming the stuff that I brought down to a reasonable amount for the actual bike portion. But yeah, I'm gonna kind of explore the ship a little bit and get some breakfast, and then probably go to the gym a little bit later. So just kind of chilling. So I guess that's all I can do with the temperature. Cruising at about 17.5 knots. So, all right, so I'm hanging out behind this piece of glass because of the wind. Still kind of chilly. Thought I'd come out and enjoy the deck. It's a pretty good day. Got up. I was up for, it must have been 3 hours, maybe something like that, about 3 hours before I made my video this morning. Just kind of going through all my stuff and separating the stuff that I won't need, the stuff that initially I was gonna just throw a bunch of stuff away, but because of the value of some of the items, I will probably just mail it back home and have them put it in storage for me. Went to the gym. Lunch was interesting. I went, let me backtrack. Breakfast, I went to the main, kind of cafeteria area. It was so much variety. It was almost overwhelming that all of that stuff is, just for people on a cruise. But I guess that's probably the appeal for most folks. So this is their main cafeteria type thing. Pretty awesome. I tend to come here in the morning just for breakfast, and then I'll go to the other place like the restaurant for dinner. Anyways, at lunch I went to one of the restaurants that I'm assigned to, and like open seating, so they're like, oh, do you mind sitting with other folks? And I was like, yeah, that's cool. So it was a bunch of older folks in this round table, and I made a little video of it. I'll share that.
Celebrating their 50th anniversary in October. And they had asked us
Hanging out with some folks for lunch.
River cruise.
But it's interesting meeting all these kind of different people. The appeal of this particular kind of trip is for older folks wanting to travel and do something different than, let's say, the Caribbean, which even back in the day, I never particularly liked that. I'd rather do something like an Alaska cruise or something like, hey, I'm transiting the Atlantic Ocean. The last time I did that, I was in the Marine Corps on a flat bottom amphibious ship called the USS Wasp, and it was quite a different experience. But rather than do a container ship, which only cost, and I may have mentioned this before, but it only cost like a couple $100, maybe $400 less than what I paid to get this, you might as well get this, and awesome food, and at least activities to do, even though I haven't done any of them. they got the pools and stuff, and maybe I'll hit those up at some point. But right now, my main purpose for this is to transit the Atlantic in a way that's different than just flying. So I think it's pretty incredible so far, you know. but day 2 is coming to a close. I'm gonna go have some dinner and you know, not quite sure. I'll probably just chill out on my balcony. You know, draw up some plans, and I haven't really mapped out anything regarding my trip in Europe, so I'm just gonna play that by ear, because unless there's certain places I want to go, I'm not gonna plan it out like day by day at all. It'll be maybe tomorrow and the day after that, and you know, because you never know if something strikes your interest and you want to see it and stay there for a little bit longer, you know, like Stonehenge or something, you know, or I want to get certain photos. I'm not going to limit it to a 2-hour window, so I'll just play that by ear. But anyways, I came out here and just thought I'd share that with you. So here's the sunset. I have to kind of poke it through this glass, which I'm not really a fan of doing. But I wanted to get out of the wind for this video, so here we go. Yeah, it was good going to the gym. Yeah, be doing that every day, but one thing I forgot to mention in the video I just made is geographically, if you were to draw a line of longitude, we are basically directly south of Nova Scotia, so crossing the Atlantic. I'd have to look at the itinerary again, but you know, that's where we are at this point after a full day, so it's pretty good. Pretty amazing. So
I've been in some strange world, strange customs. Perhaps this is considered torture here.
Torture? I do not understand. Do you not wish to see?
something. It just turned 9 o'clock. Sitting in my room, just chilling. They have on their whatever channels a Star Trek episode where they're in some different world and they're being forced to fight like gladiators, and yeah, I mean,
Sorry, I was too
something I probably would have not normally ever watched, but
far on this planet. We've kept you rather busy.
it's pretty awesome. So,
Slept from the afternoon.
so good morning, day 3. I got up this morning about 7 and went up on deck, made a video saying essentially what I'm saying here, but it was really windy. And so I came down, looked at the video, and I'm like, no, I'll just remake it. So here I am, just going through some music. I'm deleting like apps on my phone and things, and I didn't have very much music on there because most of it was either, you know, attached to my cloud account or streaming or podcasts, things like that. So they give us this cool itinerary every day. You know, I folded it up earlier, but you know, it kind of gives trending today, helpful tips. You know, it gives you the weather, just stuff like that. But yeah, for me mostly it's just chilling. So so yeah, I'm gonna head out to breakfast and then you know, go to the gym this morning at some point. Pardon the wind. I like to keep the door cracked. When you lock it, it's tight as a drum, but I don't know, I guess since we're at sea, it just kind of reminds me of that fact. So the rocking of the ship is extremely minimal, certainly different than when I was on the Wasp, which, you know, flat bottom boat, it was a lot more considerable, but yeah, no issues. I thought because of that previous experience that maybe I would get a little seasick, but everything's fine. So, but it is a cruise ship, and they are designed to do that. It seems crazy though. You know, you have this super tall, essentially hotel and mall and entertainment facility at sea. It's with pools on the top deck. It's got to be. I mean, obviously the engineers have done their math, but it seemed like it would be super top heavy, so they must have some serious, machinery to keep it all balanced and things like that, especially when the seas do get rougher, which I'll show you here in a second. It's an absolutely gorgeous day. But yeah, I'll hit the gym, then go to lunch, set up this GoPro. I have this and a little kind of a stick that extends out. Pretty cool. But this little thing is what I'll set up so I can do my vlogging on that. That way I have it on multiple media sources. It's also got a little tripod there, so pretty cool. Yeah, let me get to it, but I wanted to show you guys this beautiful morning at sea. So I usually have it on this channel here. It's it's the Ship Compass channel. I was watching it earlier when I got up. Shows you sunrise at present position, which for today was just shy of 6 a.m. We're cruising at 16.7 knots. Gives our lat long. Course 083, which is just north of due east. Sea depth 4,900 meters, which I did the math on that. It's about 16,000 feet. That's pretty damn deep. So amazing. So there we are. But yeah, here I'll show you when you washed my my shoes, my mountain bike shoes. So you close that and it's quiet. So, but nice room. I just kind of told the guy yesterday, you don't have to worry about me for maybe once or twice during the trip. I just make my own bed and I keep it pretty straightened up in here. So I don't like clutter. But yeah, let's go out here. Temperature outside is 50 degrees. Right about 10 Celsius. Yeah, again, we are in water that is 16,000 feet deep. So, but an absolutely beautiful morning. Hope you all have a good day. Day 3, so I'll talk to you later. Ciao.